First off, in your love romantic sector, I feel like some of you, your energy is very feisty for this week, so tone it down a little bit. What I feel is I'm sensing like picking a fight or creating conflict in a situation. And then the person that you're creating this conflict with, they don't want any part of it. And so there is an element of like not getting the response that you're hoping for, or even not getting any type of a response from the other person. So they might be, turned off by it, or they might just decide not to engage in it. And as a result, they don't give you the response, or not getting the proper response that you were expecting. And so your energy is really, really feisty. And I feel like that might scare off some people. It seems like it's aggressive. And so the other person is choosing to not partake in it, and they might just ghost you, or they might not engage in it with you. Okay. If this is somebody that you like, I just feel almost like they're tired. They're tired. They don't want to be a part of it. If it's somebody you're in a relationship with, I feel like there's accusations and things like that. And it's, the energy is just not really great, okay? I definitely feel this element of third-party relationships, flirtation, temptation, or something like that, coming between you and another person. So I have here the Seven of Swords, sneaky behavior. This is sort of like lies, deception, somebody stealing something, somebody lying about something, cheating someone. And I feel almost like, well, it's linked up here with the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, third party interference, flirtation outside of a relationship. And I feel like it creates conflict. Five of Wands as a result. And for those of you who are not dealing with third parties, I feel like many of you are holding back your emotions. You're not sharing how you feel about another person. And I feel almost like you feel that the person that you're with, either you can't completely trust them, or either they have a lot of options and you don't want to put your feelings on the line and be rejected. Fire signs have a lot of pride, a lot of pride. And I feel like that might be the problem, where you don't want to put yourself out there. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to tell them how special they are to you. You don't want to tell them that you think about them and dream about them every day and every night. You don't want to tell them that, they make you weak in the knees, because as a Sagittarius person, you really pride yourself on your independence. You like to be emotionally independent as well, and you don't want to tell them that they affect you very deeply on an emotional level. So I feel like you're very much alone in it's like the raw emotions that doesn't get to be expressed. It's not expressed to the right person. And you feel like your thoughts and your emotions are very wound up, and it's creating this space where it can feel very, very claustrophobic and really uncomfortable. And so it feels like you're very much alone in the crush of this. It's like being crushed or being overwhelmed by your thoughts and your emotions and not being able to escape. Okay, it's like the walls are closing in. The opportunities are slipping away. So that's what it feels like with this, those movies where someone steps on a trap door and then those spikes starts coming down from the ceiling or from the doors. And then every minute that passes, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then you have to find your way out. That's what it feels like. It's like, it's a timing issue. It's also like, time is running out. What are we going to do? How am I going to express this? How am I going to deal with this? How am I going to handle it? And I feel for many of you, it's like needing to make a decision between two people. And then for others, it can be as simple as, how do I express how I feel to another person when they are like this? Their energy is like this. This is an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. They're very cold and distant and grouchy almost. I always like to look at his face because his face is not he's critical, right? He looks critical. He looks like he doesn't really know how to have fun. And he looks like, if this is somebody that you're, like falling in love with, or somebody you feel strongly for, it could be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. If this is somebody that you like, he or she doesn't really exude warm, cuddly, passionate energy, right? They could be really smart, and that might be why you're drawn to them. I don't know why you would be drawn to someone like this. No offense to the air signs, but I just feel like this is someone who's very critical, who could be potentially grouchy, who's a little bit difficult to please, who expects the best in other people. They're great communicators, they're great orators, they give great advice. But it's like they're not a warm person, and I feel like that might be where the problem is, because you're dealing with some internal conflict. How do I tell them? Do I even tell them? How do I approach this topic? You might also encounter a lot of like conflict with this person. You don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things. You don't have the same goals. You don't have the same sense of, I want to say you don't have the same values. You don't care about the same things. You have like very different likes and dislikes. And every time the two of you talk, this card can deal with a lot of competition, a lot of physical like passion and chemistry. But it doesn't really translate over to a harmonious relationship, right? And then on top of that, every time you see this person, they're kind of like this, high and mighty, kind of just, they're not warm and cuddly and affectionate. And it's so hard for you to make an offer to this person, or even like soften up and express yourself to this person. That's what it feels like to me. Let me just see what Sagittarius should do about this person, because I feel like you're conflicted. There might just be this really strong, love-hate dynamics between you and another person. And it can be very confusing. So what should Sagittarius people do? Sorry, these cards are so big. It's so hard to shuffle. What should the Sagittarius people do about this person, this King of Swords? You've gotten like really good love readings in the past few weeks, so I'm surprised to see this, but let's just see. It's not all bad. I mean, it requires some adjustments, but I feel like you're very much alone in your feelings because you're dealing with someone who's not very warm. Unfortunately, we have the Eight of Cups. Some of you have been feeling this way about this person for a really long time. If it's a very contentious and conflictual type of interaction that you have with them every single time you see them, it's time for you to walk away. So this is going to serve as your spiritual advice, okay? Eight of Cups, walking away from a situation that we invested a lot of time in, but the depiction of this card is the feelings are kind of like fading, okay? The feelings are no longer real, are no longer there. It's like letting go, releasing. I also feel as well, some of you need to get some things off your chest. If that's how you feel about the person, you want to make this offer. You want to express yourself here with the Knight of Pentacles. This is making an offer. This is coming in and giving them something a little bit more concrete and solid, letting them know that you're very serious-minded and letting them know that you're dependable and that you're not going anywhere. So I feel like there's an element here about third party interfering in a relationship. You might be in one relationship, they might be in a relationship, and there's attraction. Or you're dealing with someone who's very cold and it's just hard to approach them. And you're conflicted because one minute they're like this and the next day they're like that. And so you constantly doubt and you constantly question their emotions and their feelings for you. And if you're dealing with someone who's like the King of Swords, they're very critical, but the way they feel about you should not fluctuate and should not change. Okay? So it depends on what side of the coin you're on, but I just feel like If it's a person and you're a new person and you're confused about how they feel about you, I feel like the feelings are there. It's just, if they're dissatisfied, they're going to make their feelings known. And so you should, take up the mantle as well and just express how you feel, because I feel like you're very, very alone with your emotions, with your thoughts, and your sense of self-esteem is so dependent on how this person treats you. So if they're nice to you, you feel like you're on top of the world. And then the next day, if they turn cold because of whatever personal reasons they have, because they're busy, because they've had a bad day, but then when you don't feel that warmth coming from them, then it just makes you feel really alone. And so I feel like your emotional state is greatly tied in with a relationship, and you're very much like you're not expressing how you feel. You're very alone and very confused about the interaction. So there seems to be conflict here. Try to resolve that, but I feel like it's playing out in inner conflict. You might not have an accurate, you feel like they're critical of you. You feel like they're judging, or they're not happy with the way you're doing things. And someone's opinion of you really shouldn't matter, Sagittarius. Most of the time, you could care less what people think, but I feel like you're enamored by this person. So what they think, their body language, their demeanor, the way they look at you matters a lot, and you're trying to please. But I feel like it can be very difficult to please somebody who's very critical, right? So do what you can, but don't let their opinion of you dictate your self-worth and your self-esteem, okay? Other areas of your life, what I have as well is the Nine of Cups. And I shuffle the cards very thoroughly, and Scorpio got the same card, different position. And so in terms of your spiritual advice, work, career, and professional achievements, all of these things are happening for you. Getting a wish granted, getting a wish fulfilled here with the Nine of Cups. This is like things coming in your favor, having a lot of blessings and abundance around you. And I feel a lot of it starts here with Ace of Wands. This is new projects, new job, a new win, getting something that you've been waiting for a really long time. Feeling that spark of excitement and childlike, excitement and passion all over again. Feeling like, feeling that sense of purpose. As a fire sign, I feel like the Ace of Wands is like telling you, you got to run with it. You got to just, make the most of it, because this is a wonderful opportunity that's really going to spark your creativity. Feeling as though you can be like a child again, that childlike innocence, that sense of exuberance. So many of you are coming into this week with a renewed sense of purpose. And I also feel like a lot of it is attributed to your career and your professional success here with the Sun card. This is getting positive, being in the limelight and getting positive energy, getting positive feedback. So if you had like a performance evaluation, if you've had clients, for example, that have been very problematic, that you've worked with in the past, they're very critical of you, this is the week where you start to shine and you start to it's like smoothing out, or you start to prove to them what you're capable of. And you start to prove to them, like changing their minds, 180, okay? Changing their minds and having them see you in a very positive light. So if you've been dealing with critical people, and I have another air sign showing up here, Queen of Swords. This is somebody that can be two-faced. They say one thing and they mean another. But I feel like you're trying really hard to please this person. It could be a client. It could be a boss. It could be, just somebody in your home situation. And I feel like, they say one thing and they mean another, or they might not be forthcoming with the whole truth. They can also be very difficult to assess. And so whatever you were doing for them, I feel like there is a turnaround for this week where you start to get the positive reception, the positive attention. And this is coming out in that interaction. And the interaction, if it has been very, very contentious, if you've been doing things and people have been telling you, you're headed down the wrong path, don't dump so much energy into it, and they're not really supportive of you, this is the week where, against all odds, against all the naysayers, you're going to be able to prove to yourself that you've achieved it. You've overcome this huge obstacle, mainly because you believe, like you trusted your gut instincts. So whatever, people in your life have been telling you, you're headed down the wrong path, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't get involved with that person, or you shouldn't be, bending over backwards to please this one client. And you did it anyways because you feel like this is a test for me personally. If I can do this, I can do anything. And so you stuck with it. This is the week where you start to see that recognition, where you start to see that you have been divinely guided on the right path. And also trusting your intuition and trusting your instincts is really, this is the week where you start to see that you did the right thing. Okay. It might not have been a popular decision, or it might not have been a decision that was supported by the people you love, by family members, by friends. But I feel like you did it because that was what your gut was telling you. And you're getting confirmation for this week that you're on the right track. Okay, Sagittarius? I'm just going to leave it at that because I feel like many of you, it's playing out in different areas of your life. Your love situation, however, I feel like there is a need for you to express how you feel. Okay? So in a way, I'm feeling like some of you have an ex or somebody from your past who's very critical. And you have a new person with a lot of warmth and energy coming through. And I feel like, you need to clear up the room for new people. You need to clear up that closet. Empty out, your life to allow new people to come into the picture. Trust your instincts. Learn to express yourself a little bit more on the emotional front. I feel like that's going to be the catalyst to allow you to feel a little bit more calibrated and to allow you to get things off your chest so that you're not feeling burdened anymore. Okay? So I hope the reading is helpful. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.